Good evening, dear colleagues and friends. Welcome to the online meeting, Experience of Working with Forced Migrants of Moldova. My name is Nazarii Boiarskyi. I represent the Ukrainian NGO Democratic Initiatives Incubator, and today I will be the moderator of this event. This online meeting is organized by the NGO Democratic Initiatives Incubator Ukraine within the framework of the project, the response of citizenship education to the challenges of forced migration, which is implemented by the working group of the EENCE network, Citizenship Education in Forced Migration, supported by the Federal Agency of the Civil Education using funds appropriated by the Federal Foreign Office, Germany. This event is held for the interested people from the Eastern Partnership countries and is a part of series of meetings dedicated to the experience of working with forced migrants, like internally displaced persons, refugees, asylum seekers from different countries. We'll spend next hour and a half together, and therefore I would like to share with you some wishes to our joint work. First, in case of technical problems, you should try restart the connection by pressing F5 or launching the page, change the internet source or the device you are using. Second, you can communicate using chat during the meeting. Please write your comments and post questions to the speaker there. As a moderator, I will keep track on them, and at the end of the meeting, we will answer them. Third, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that the video of the webinar is being recorded. Therefore, the chat will be not included to the recording, only the presentation and the camera image. So feel free to comment, but remember to be polite. I'm also happy to introduce our translator from English to Ukrainian language, Alexandra Zurian. Dear Sasha, thank you a lot for your work. And with this, I wish everyone pleasant and useful meeting, and I welcome our expert Aina Idrisova. She is facilitator, trainer, and in the field of non-formal education, human rights, and social interpretation in the organization EcoVisio. Dear Aina, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nazarii. Hello, everyone. Welcome, and I hope you are good now, in a good mood, in maybe, I don't know, with good thoughts, because today, like maybe this hour, we will speak about some positive examples of how we Moldovans are working with Ukrainian people who came to Moldova, not like in a good way, but I would like to say that we are supporting very much your people, and also greetings like from the activist sector, and I wish you maybe to have these, I don't know, good feelings during this hour, and to understand better how the external support is going on. Yeah, I would also suggest you to write your comments in the chat and to ask like during the presentation, because maybe not I will not give all of the details, you know, for the common overview, but if you want to know more, you can write both in the chat, or you can write it down and after that email and or chat me, and to ask if you want some more details about the methods, about the links with the organizations, because I will represent mostly the cases we have now in Moldova. Yeah, so let's start. I will share my screen. Yeah, generally, I named this presentation like a presentation of the methods and different practices, how we, civil society organizations or activists, how we do create the safe spaces for people from Ukraine who are staying or who are staying not for a long time, you know. But we try to, like our organizations or those who were also involved in these activities, which I will present today, they are not doing, you know, only the humanitarian type of activities and not helping only with the basic needs, but also are organizing educational and supportive from their psychological point of view programs and events and so on. Maybe like as I told you, I will not present all of the organizations which are doing the activities which cover the basic needs, because they are really a lot. And almost every center, every, I don't know, organization which has a space which is like liberal and everybody can have access to it, they organized spaces for like people to sleep, or they came with a lot of sources to also to give the like products and of hygiene or for eating or something like this. But mostly I will speak about the organization of educational and entertainment activities for adults, youngsters, and children. Yeah, and Moldova is for peace. This is also is the name of organization. It's like not maybe organization, but as an activists community which were gathered from the very beginning of the war, and now they are still doing a lot of things. I will speak a bit more about it. But this is, you know, this is the logo. This was created as a logo for Moldova during these times. So if you see something like this is also these colors are representing colors of our stick. So this is the logo of Moldova during these activities, during these times. Maybe some details, facts about me, why I am speaking about all these activities now. I am a trainer and facilitator, and I was co-founder of the platform for minority youngsters, and we were working very many times with people from different ethnic nationalities and linguistic minorities. So somehow this was my beginning of the journey of working with human rights, and now I'm working in EcoVisio. A bit differently, like in social entrepreneurship area, but still I'm also very glad to contribute, to share this experience of our organizations and teams which are involved in these crisis times. And this was also one of the like main activities which I organized and co-facilitated. Active Peace program. So this was the program for consolidation of youngsters from the both banks of the river Dniester. So if you know, we have this Transnistrian region in Moldova, and for many years after the conflict in 19th, we had a lot of programs for you know, common working, for common education, for sharing of experiences and so on. And somehow now it is like a bit strange, because we had a lot of results during this work, We have a lot of people who came from Transnistrian region and are working now here in Moldova, even in like human rights area, you know, which is not very common for Transnistrian region and civil society from there. We have now some, I don't know, maybe additional or supportive programs for businesses from the both banks of the river, but still these instruments are needed, and now not for those who are living in Moldova, who are coming from Transnistria or even from the Gagauzian region, because it needed, like, you know, more consolidation and more team building activities. This also includes a lot of activities about the non-discrimination, non-discriminative attitude, and acceptance of diversity. So all these instruments are needed now, not to work with people like from our country, but it's needed to work with people from the from Ukraine. And yeah, this is one of the cases of working with people from Transnistria and from from the right bank of the river. So if you are interested, this is not very, like, you know, common with the nowadays situation, but we have a lot of consolidation programs and many donors, many organizations, international organizations who came in Moldova. They gave a lot of, like, you know, resources to launch these programs of dialogue between two banks of the river. But today we are speaking about the working with Ukrainians, and as I told you, this is the very first, like the biggest initiative which were launched in Moldova, like, I don't know, maybe during the second or the third day of the war. And it is a very interesting fact that this initiative was formed even before the state departments, you know, thought about this, because of the, like, a lot of the bureaucracy and so on. But this initiative group was formed, and a lot of people received their support, firstly to cover the basic needs, and they still are organizing a lot of delivery of the products and like, you know, to cover basic needs. But today they already are working with also educational activities. And as I told you, humanitarian aid has flowed to work with attitudes, with states of people who came, and also they has changed the direction to educational supporting content. Okay, so now some cases about like the concrete work, the concrete examples of working or of involvement of adults. So I do not know how it is working in other countries who do have also good, like a big wave of forced migrants. But in our country, not many adults, as we see, are ready to be involved, in different activities. Most of them, like, are going to the villages, or they are trying to find a job in the city, but because of their stress and so on, and mostly those who came with their children, they somehow like, you know, they were focused on the good mood and covering of the basic needs of their children. They do not have a lot of thoughts about their state, but now we see that, like, slowly they are also involved in some activities. And I want to represent some examples from our organizations, EcoVisio and EcoVillage Moldova. and I will also send the presentation, I think, by the Nazarii. But Eco Village is a very beautiful space in a village, Ryshkova, near the Chisinau, near the capital city. And it has an ecological construction. It's kind of, sustainable village place. So they also have a lot of spaces for people like to stay, but they also organized nice activities for both adults and for children. And the fact that is very interesting for me, that we have to work not only with the migrants, but also with local people, to have much better acceptance, to teach them how to proceed with even with small talks in the kitchen, because this was not like people were not ready for this. And we started to work also with those who are living, like with local people who are living in the village, who accepted or they are hosts for those guests who came from Ukraine. And the trainings or the topics we also organized trainings on for them were thermal insulation, agriculture, and also like relatives and how to relate with people from Ukraine. And these are interesting topics because, those who are in the village, they maybe not very much wanted to know how to organize entertainment activities, but they want to know how to involve people who are coming in their day-by-day activities, in their agriculture work. Also, another like direction also is very well known, that a lot of women came to Moldova with their children, without, and also mostly they are living in villages, yeah, and not like alone, but in small companies. And the workshops they are organizing like in Eco Village for their guests were handmade workshops, also psychological, I don't know, constellation or consultations, or even some sessions on self-awareness, self-confidence, because these are all also areas which were affected by this crisis. Activities also, they are organizing activities for their children in order to leave the space, maybe a little space for their own, like for mothers who came with children, but they have no time without them. So Eco Village also organized some activities for children and to leave alone mothers, or to give them possibility to participate in different actions or activities or exercises together. And as you understand, like all of the bodily practices, like yoga, dancing, and so on, these are also very good examples of how can we maybe make less stress. Yeah, also another type of activities are community buildings. And this is the preparation of food, for example, together, or some sessions of brainstorming together, how to improve this place, how to decorate, for example, this place for, I don't know, suddenly day. Or we had, during this period, we had, a lot of good celebration days. For example, we had Nationality Day, we had like Day of the National Language, and so on. And these were also some cases when people were gathered together, discussing and creating something new, something beautiful together. And everything which were organized in nature also is a good way to together with children or without, like this was one of the cases. So community buildings and all of these types of activities for get to know each other and to building teams or building some common topics for discussions and so on. I also want to emphasize some maybe phrases that my colleagues told me. One of the examples or one of the directions how to also involve adults is to hire them, So one organization told me that they hired people from Ukraine in their activities with children, and they are now part of the teams who are going to different locations, and they are very happy somehow to contribute also with their experience. And I also worked with one Ukrainian psychologist during a training. It was a very good and interesting experience because I see like mostly Ukrainian people are different from Moldovans, and I had a lot to learn from her. So this is also the creation of different of diverse teams. Not only, for example, to have an Ukrainian teacher or a Ukrainian trainer and give him or her this possibility to teach, but also to create teams with one Moldovan, for example, facilitator or trainer, and with one Ukrainian. This is also a good experience of consolidation. And also offline support groups are now on the top. Like, I mean here offline support groups from the psychological way of or direction, because firstly, a good interaction between people, and if many of many people are using online psychological consultations, now these offline support groups are even better, because like together with the team it's much easier to feel comfortable at one moment. And also because of this, like as I told you, nearly were organized some activities for children, and they had this therapy like without thinking of, okay, where is my child and how fast should I go from here. So yeah, this is also a good thing. For sure, like psychological consultations, and we have a hotline for all of the I don't know, issues and questions if you like don't have time or it's needed really now. And this like organization Rethink, it's also from village Bessarabka in the south areas, and they organized offline consultations after, like with those people who also have contacted them, and this is like much more to work on, not only like online but also after that to invite to an offline group. Okay, then let's a bit discuss how our organizations and even companies have supported those who do not know what to do with their business, or like have lost their job or something like this. For example, our hubs and co-working spaces, they gave possibility to people from Ukraine to come and to work in their co-working spaces. Also, I know at least like we don't have as many hubs as you in Ukraine. We have like maybe 3 or 4 in the capital city. All of them were open for Ukrainian people, and also some acceleration programs. They acceleration, I mean, for startups and for small and micro businesses. They also organize like a different direction for only for Ukrainian people or only for Ukrainian women in order to to support their launching in Moldova. Another initiative is called Robota, Career Counseling and Refugee Labor Rights Protection. So it was organized by National Congress of Ukrainians in Moldova, and they are providing, these documents issues, a lot of advices on the legal, on the, labor questions. They are mapping the competencies of those people who have no job now, and supporting also to find this job. And another issue was that the fact that civil society organizations also hired a lot of people from Ukraine, also from the point of view of consolidation, because, for example, we in our organization, we do have a lot of policies and steps how to become a person to be hired, but in this situation we also skipped them a lot. One more activity which also organized my department in the organization, we organized an online course for those who want to launch the business with the basic information, basic what is the legal system, how to get support from government organizations, or what are the banks or other types of entities which you have to know if you are launching a business. So this was also as a support, and now we have this period of coachings and mentoring these people. Youngsters. So those who are young and who came here in Moldova, mainly they were taken with the youth centers and youth councils, which are situated in mostly cities or even in villages in Moldova. And these are some types of activities which were also help, or which were as the possible way to include these youngsters. First of all, volunteering, and also during some big events we had now in Moldova, organization of the activities for other people from Ukraine, and mostly for children, for those who are young, much more younger than you. Also, they had this access for trainings, which were free for sure. Another way of their involvement were include them in social project management, which was also a very interesting way. Not all of youngsters were ready to do this, but I know some of them who are still working in social projects, and they are very inspired because they can do something for Moldovan community, being here with other people. Also, as a good tool, like games and board games, role-playing games, social, and so on. So this was the the fact, or the way of activity which were mentioned by everybody who were working with the refugees. Also, an interesting fact that mostly programs which were launched for youngsters, they were looking for people, like youngsters from Ukraine in religious communities, because they accepted a lot of people in community centers, in youth centers also. And now some examples. A trip or a travel touristic activity, know the country that hosts you. It was a program for youngsters to go to the tour in 6 different places, which are some kind touristic attractive in Moldova, and to know better what is the what is the culture, why do we speak so many languages in Moldova, what are the context differences between southern territory or a northern one. Like this was to know the country that hosts you. Another program was Upship Moldova, and this was a course of trainings for people, for youngsters who want to become kind of project managers, but we gave them possibility, because I was also one of the trainers during this program. We gave them possibility to know more about program management, like generally, about social innovation, about social entrepreneurship, and this worked a lot, because the topic of social innovation is kind of interesting for youngsters. And when we are speaking about Elon Musk, or about the guy from Ukraine who I do not remember his name, but they were like talking about him very much. The guy who launched digital application which you are using for payments and so on. So these were topics very interesting for them. And after that, they had to launch their own social activities. For example, one of the teams organized this was also the pitching event, and like from our team, you see, we didn't have a lot of people. Mostly like this group was much smaller than others of Moldovans. But we had three projects, and one of them was Ukrainian festival in Chisinau. Another one was the webinar for architectures from Ukraine and Moldova. So somehow they were involved in the interaction with Moldovan youngsters through these social projects. Also, like this is something generally and very popular, as I understood, from different countries, summer camps and mobility teams. First of all, like mobility team, if you don't know, this is the group which is going to specific locality and is doing something with people from there, that location. And we had like several organizations which organize such mobility teams. Examples: youth-friendly services for resilience building and engagement of adolescent refugees. It was organized by a civil society organization Pro Bono and Municipal Center of Youth. And they had some educational and entertainment programs for teenagers. One in the city out of the Chisinau, another one inside the Chisinau. And also, like there were a lot of types of activities, from the trainings on professional orientation to, these community events of when you are going and making some processes in the nature together with children or together with adults, but you are creating some connections with the nature. And also this was interesting because many of these people, they were inside the center together with Moldovan people from that village, and they were not speaking the same language. Even like in Chisinau, there are a lot of people who are speaking Russian language. In the villages, teenagers are not speaking Russian language, so it was interesting how do they understand each other, and in some cases they were also like speaking with gestures or even in English. Yeah, this was these are some pictures from our activities with them. Yeah, as I told, there was a mobility team. They were going like once a week to a specific I don't know, center even, or a specific location. Also another organization which made this program with mobility teams were They're the Homes, and some highlights I asked them to give me. The first one is the fact that routine, which became like this schedule, that people, that teenagers, they know that the team is coming, for example, on Saturday, and this routine was good because they were waiting for this time, and this gave some kind of safeness, and this is something which is happening like for sure. Also they are using MGE's C methodology. You can also, I put here the link, you can also see how this type of methodology is working with children, but mostly they are using sport and movements and different body games, and also includes the creativity moments. But yeah, this organization is very big, and they also have a lot of filials in different countries. It's from France, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, they are also included in the activities, also social workers. And this is also an interesting fact, because social workers before the war, they were not very, not kind of popular, but not many educational activities and programs involved them. But during this crisis time, social workers somehow they gave a lot of need for the work they do, and this is also an interesting thing to rethink, maybe. Yeah. So emotional, psychological and basic materials needed, and also another methodology is interesting, used by another organization, Millennium Training and Development Institute, and they organized their program basically on this social and emotional learning concept, and they took, for example, one direction in, like, for example, self-awareness, and they worked 1 week only on strengthening this self-awareness for youngsters. Another week they took emotional skills or relationship skills, and somehow this was the basic methodology they used. And also another highlight from them is the fact that they have no, like most organizations, they have no obligated to to participate people or to speak the same language, and they also used a lot of diversity in their activities. They proposed, like, for example, different groups. They proposed different groups from the point of view of ages, but also from the point of view of your character. If you want to stay alone, you are like going in that area. If you want to stay in the group which is making sport, for example, you are staying here. So youngsters had this liberty for choosing what kind of participation they can express now. And also, yeah, the same about the same language. This was also an interesting observation, that like examples or methods which are not involving somehow this issue of language are also very useful, because you are doing it with something which is common. Yeah, because body is common for us, like, thoughts or way of imagination, or sports, or like images, films, music. Yeah, so somehow these are not issues related to the language you are speaking. Okay, and children with their parents, this is also a very interesting and important issue to think about, that the children, when you are organizing something for children, think about their parents also. Yeah, this was an initiative also from the very beginning, maybe during the first week, three big, I don't know how to call this, co-working spaces, but not also, but not only. They are like organizations which have a big space, like future class, it calls in English, art core and media core. These three organizations, they had in the line different activities for children, like only for children, not teenagers, but only for children. And for example, here we were focused on the scientific and technological activities and sessions. But also, for example, I took some colleagues from my community, and we organized a night of board games, and also we had a lot of sessions for handicrafts. And yeah, so these were something you need to involve in only, like, not maybe thoughts, but also hands, and also like other skills, not as in the school, because like during first months it was very complex to, or difficult maybe even to focus children on the educational scholars activities. Another organization, Diversitate, in Romanian. This is the Center of Non-Formal Education, and they are organizing a lot of different types of activities, from the art to the like singing and meditation with music and art therapy and so on. And they also had they have the center, which is open daily, and they are announcing every week which type of activities they are doing. But they also made some useful master classes, for example, how to reuse or how to change your clothes in order to use them in other way. Or they also had a type of kind of touristic quest in the city. Or they also created they were involved in different role games, which represented also some kind of activities to know better Moldovan community. Because not only Ukrainian children are coming there, but also people who or children who were involved in the camps of this organization before, they also were coming and participating and like discussing a lot of things together with children from Ukraine. And this organization also they are doing every summer the camp Sources of Tolerance. And this year it was very kind of specific, because every year it has the objective to gather as many ethnic minority groups as it possible from Moldova, because we have a lot of them. But this year they had like a very big amount of Ukrainian children, and as I understood, it was very specific and interesting, because they also gave some kind of experience from another context. The issues they had during this summer camp were different, but most almost all of them were somehow directed to the social changes. For example, they had a day of social changes during which some organizations came there, and they teached or discussed something very urgent for Moldovan community. After that, they thought about also about social projects regarding gender equality or human rights or children or minority rights. So this was also an interesting experience. And this program of or type format of camps, when you are going there and you are only focused there and you are sleeping there with other children, it's like different experience from from a simple center when you are coming for only or a day or for some several hours. Yeah, another type of activity, and it's also a very interesting example of social enterprise in Moldova, Jedujok. Here I also put the link for to if I don't know if you have some funds or you are supporting donating to support activities in other countries for Ukrainian children, you can also donate here, because they are not only like, okay, generally it's something popular to create something for children, for free, but they were organizing they are essentially organizing workshops for children to create toys. They are showing the process of creation, and also they are like, after that, children are making their own toys. Also, they have these two toys which are represented here in the image, and like if you are coming to Moldova, all of the activists will know these two objects, because this somehow is the representative products of Moldovan support for Ukrainians, which is I saw these toys already in Germany. Like, I don't know how they get to, but yeah, another type of game or maybe exercise was like, they have Jenga type bricks, this game with the different different bricks which you have to put in the towel, but like, in order not to make it fall down. And they have these bricks in a bigger size, and they put them around a child, and after that they start talking with him about his fears and about his maybe not very pleasant emotions, like they are discussing also with the psychologist. And after that they are proposing to knock down this towel with all of these freeing emotions and so on. So some kind of also therapy exercise. Also, they are using Lego in educational activities to have also this map and other things. And very many times they are using these two colors, yellow and blue. Also, somehow to, like, even if it is not a game, but somehow to have this, to create this connection with their own country and their like feelings. Yeah, and another type of their activity is the Gusta Hora. They are going to different locations and not only organizing something for, but they are involving Ukrainian people to prepare food together, and after that to organize kind of festivity for this location, also using the with the support of local organizations from Moldova, but also this concept is not to create for, but to create together. And maybe some ideas of highlights of those I don't know, educational activities which I organized or I was told by another people, like very specific. As I told you, like board games is a best way to not to focus on the maybe not so pleasant thoughts. But one which worked very good in one of the northern cities was Ludo Busul. So if you want to know more, you can also search for this game, how it is working. Also, many psychological or consultants, they are using metaphorical cards. We are generally we are using this method during our trainings and the facilitation sessions, but now to work or to recognize emotions and feelings, they are very they are brilliant as a brilliant instrument. And also another suggestion would be to create discomfort and freedom for body. And for example, as I told you, the nature as a environment also for the activities with children or their parents, and also hammocks. Yeah, this was an idea of my colleague. We bought some hammocks for families in one village, also to have this, like kind of individual safe space. This is maybe not very, I don't know, it's small thing, but it gives a lot to those who are now in not in a good state of emotion and feelings. Yeah, so these are all of the examples I wanted to present. Thank you. Stay safe, and yeah, Slava Ukraini. And yeah, I am also open for all of your questions. And as I told you, I want to give more details. I can send the links for the organizations and also to give you the contacts if you need it.
Heroям Slava, I should answer for you. Thank you a lot, dear Aina, for your presentation. And yes, we invite all participants to ask your question in our chat, so you can write them there. It will be more convenient for us and comfortable to manage time. But if you would like to ask with your voice, just turn on microphone, and we will also give you this opportunity. Actually, we have already one question. You mentioned about resilience building programs, yes, like methods of work, and our participants asked to tell about, a little bit more about this, if it's possible. It was kind of on first part of presentation, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. If you want, it maybe would be better to send these methods, I don't know, like examples of methods for the building of resilience, because mostly it depends on the group, on the experience of those people who are coming to the group. And in many cases, this building of resilience, it needs a lot of time. So you cannot, for example, do it during one session. So I can suggest, I can also send some methods how to organize these activities, but also to take into consideration the fact that to organize only this activity, it's too small, it's not enough. Yeah, and also take into consideration the methodology of not maybe methodology, but the principle of Kolb experience learning. Kolb experience learning, and there this theory is saying that to learn something or to recognize something, you have to go through different stages. And for example, you have activity experience. After that, you have the reflection about this activity. After that, you have the recognition and theoretical conceptualization. And after that, you experiment one more time after you know already some things. And yeah, for me, during my activities with children or with teenagers from Ukraine, was very important this stage of reflection, like, you know, to create space to understand what do I feel. Maybe we cannot do something very specific now to change this feeling, but at least first step would be to recognize and to, like, you know, to see, okay, this is my feeling, maybe I can stay with it now. So this is one of the, like, you know, not methodology but way of thinking when while you are creating the program for educational processes. Yeah, I'm reading some also
We have a lot
some
of good
messages in the
wishes
chat.
and like good words
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yeah, we are waiting for you. If you like want to come, you can come. And we are waiting for you also to involve you and to support you. We are waiting also to come to you. So I wish all of us um, to step further and to go with a bigger speed to the final of all these crises. Mhm. Well, if you have other questions, please write me. If not, I think I will also leave the like my contacts if you want, or if you will see that you want to organize something and you've seen such a type of activity in my presentation, you also can write and we can have a discussion about this.
Okay, then I just looking for some link to send also for our participants. Then I also would like to ask you, Aina, maybe one question from my side. You present us a lot of activities which are organized by NGOs and like non-formal I don't know, organization initiatives, but can you tell a little bit about like government initiatives? Do you have cooperation or any kind, just at least like support for this kind of activities? How it's going on?
Yeah. First of all, I would like to say that okay, yeah, the unpleasant thing that is that now the government mostly is involved in this. You know, this interaction about the gas question and a lot of requests from our local people, like what to do, how to proceed with all this. And yeah, because of the also a lot of contrast inside the politician parties and so on, we have a lot of different processes inside. But regarding the like the that's government which is now in power, they are supporting mainly the need, like the basic need coverage. But for example, our I don't know how it's called, like in the city, this small government. I don't know how it's called, like
Municipal
okay.
government, I guess.
Yeah, local authorities, like kind of. They are involved in the activities in youth centers mainly. Like they, because of their okay, they are not experienced in non-formal education, for example, or in you know, diversity education, but they are giving resources, they are giving spaces at least, yeah, for those activities. And our Chisinau's authorities, local authorities, they also supported the program with the mobility team, which I presented, and with these municipality youth centers. So they somehow are involving, not like with the directly participating, but they are giving resources to non-governmental organizations to do this. Yeah, so this is I would say the mainly direction, because we okay, we have now I don't know even now if they have it, but from the beginning they had they reconstructed like 3 spaces, big spaces in the city, in order to cover the basic needs for people, but they started to give support, like as food, as volunteers who are involved usually in governmental activities. They are involved now in such direction, but mostly yeah, these resources which are, you know, which we can feel during like our activities, and with which we can cover many people, are coming from abroad because of the resources. Yeah, thank you so much for
Okay,
your messages. Yeah, I love the fact that yeah, thank you, Nazarii, for inviting me, because yeah, I'm somehow very. It's very emotional to present all of these experiences. I hope I covered like different directions, and you now have a better overview of what do we do.
you definitely did, and thank you very much, dear Aina, for your presentation. And I'm sure that all of us have gained many tools and ideas on how to work with people who face forced discrimination, forced migration. But I think even not only because some of these instruments like very universal, and you can use them with different group of people. So thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
Uh, I would like then to tell some like ending words for our participants. First of all, in our chat you see like many links from me. Part of them it's our social medias, and I would like to ask you to subscribe for our YouTube channel, Facebook, or Telegram. There you'll find like all announcement about our future events, and also recording for all online events which we hold. And also super important, it's our feedback form. It's my last message which we ask you to fulfill, and there you'll find a lot of, not a lot, to be honest, not a lot. There you'll find a few questions, main questions, which help us a lot to improve our events. So please do it. And if you would like to get certificate about participation in this webinar, it's also will be the last question. One more thing, very important, it's which I would like to share with you, that it's not our like last event. We will soon announce more online meetings about experience of other countries of work with people who face migration. So we already like prepared event about Lithuanian experience. So just wait, please wait for announcements. And also I sent link for our collection of best practice working with people who are faced forced migration. It's like open call, and we ask you to fulfill if you know any practices, and if you do them, please describe, and you will have some benefits from this. More details you will find in this like application form, and I sent to the chat. So I think it's like all what I should share with you. So now time to just remind you that our online meeting experience of working with forced migrants, Moldova, is organized by NGO Democratic Initiatives Incubator from Ukraine within the framework of the project, the response of citizenship education to the challenges of forced migration, which is implemented by the working group of the EENCE network, Citizenship Education and Forced Migration, supported by the Federal Agency of Civil Education, using funds appropriated by the Federal Foreign Office, Germany. Thank you very much, dear participants, that you joined us and have been here with us during this meeting. Thank you a lot, dear Aina, for amazing presentation with a lot of examples of your work and the work of other people from Moldova. And thank you, dear Anastasia Zurian, for translation in Ukrainian language. I hope to see all of us soon on our next events, and thank you a lot for time which you share with us on this event.
Thank you. Stay safe, people. Stay safe.
Дякую, гарного вечора.